and then you did what I did. And I can't call myself out to be scrub of the week, so there's someone else that has to be somebody. I mean, I might get called out by someone else, but I
No,
mean, them are the Seahawks.
no. I got this one, and he'll understand because he
All right,
knows. We
I'm
call him
all
out
ears.
enough times already. The Packers. You
I can
got a
see
couple
that.
new users out there, and I just keep seeing 44s and 42s being put on the Packers, and I'm a Green Bay Packer fan. You're killing me, bro. You're trading away all your good players, and you're getting destroyed out there. Put some points up or something, man. Play some defense. That's my call out of
Yeah,
the week.
yeah, I can see that one.
But yeah, no, we in the AFC, I think it's very safe to say the cream of the crop is still the cream of the crop. I think we got a couple new users that could alter a few things, but NFC is where you gotta we gotta really delve into because it is just a mess
Yeah.
in the
All right.
NFC.
So when I'm looking at the NFC East, the Giants are staying within touch, but you have this nasty Cowboys team that I haven't looked at it recently, but I know when I was getting ready for our possible week 2, week 3 squadcast. Let's see what I have. Going into week 3, the Cowboys led the league in yards gained per game as well as lead the league in least yards allowed per game. They're averaging right around 400 yards offensively, and they're only letting up about 120 yards defensively. I mean, that was a couple weeks ago. Things may have been skewed a little bit since then. But I mean, like if you're playing like that, it's going to be hard to beat you when you have that old line. So I'd be really surprised if anyone really took them over in the NFC East. But I mean, that's why they play the game. NFC North, that's a really tough division right now. You have 3 teams that are on a winning streak, really trying to make themselves playoff contenders here. But
I think this is the first time we could say that Claw has got some competition.
competition, exactly,
It's
yeah.
been a
So I
while.
want to see what happens with Claw. We got the Packers on their heels. They escaped with a win in San Francisco. They haven't. They've been on a 3-game losing streak. The Vikings have been playing some decent ball. The Lions have been playing good enough ball, and the Bears, they just lost a barometer game for their season. They lost by 21, 3 possessions. Anytime you lose by 3 possessions, you're gonna hit the chalkboard the next week and try and figure something else out. So I mean, if I had to pick a team from the NFC North, I think the Bears are still going to come out of that one, but I could see him splitting with the Vikings. The Vikings, he's got some players on his defense. He can make some good plays happen. He can put together a drive.
Last year I
NFC's
was a little disappointed in the Bears. I personally I made it very clear. I thought he had probably one of the easiest schedules, and he kind of cakewalked in there into the playoffs, and he just didn't live up to the hype, And I'm gonna say this now: the Vikings called me out last week on the podcast, called us both out for not, giving him his due.
hmm
I think he's 3-1 or 2-1 in that division,
well, it's
and
he hasn't hit me back today. He was beating me. And one of us lost connection. We were talking last night, and I had to hit the hay. Had to wake up real early. But I haven't heard back from him today. I'd really like to play him.
it sounded like
So
what was he up 28-10 or something?
yeah, it was 28-10. I had a shot at really asserting myself towards the end of the second. I mean the second quarter, and I just shit the bed entirely. Definitely not getting any of that shared revenue off that one. So, but I mean, we had like 12 minutes or so left in the game to play. It would have been a stretch for me to come back, but I've put up 23 in the fourth quarter before. I'm not gonna put myself out in any game. I'm gonna play till the last whistle. I've got my ass beat plenty of times where I haven't rage quit. So everyone knows I'm hanging around even if I'm getting fucking spanked. It's all about fucking honor and pride over in the Bay. But yeah, I mean, it's a really if you're gonna look at from that NFC North game, and we can segue into the NFC West easily off that topic. It's wide open. The Cardinals, they haven't really performed up to par so far this season. We usually expect more out of him. The Rams, I think he's playing the Raiders tonight, but up to this point, he's winless. And the Seahawks, they just have a hard time finding their footing, it seems like, despite having a pretty good team. It's wide open. All the teams, I mean, if the Rams win tonight, all the teams have one win. The Cardinals had a bye week in week 4, so they have one less loss, so they're technically a half game up, I believe. But yeah, no, wide open. I know personally that I have 3 more divisional games before my bye week, and then I play the Cardinals right after the bye week. So if I can hold my own end of the bargain, I might be able to assert myself in that division. But I'm not gonna put myself past the Cardinals without first beating them. I'm, got to give the devil his due on that one. What do you think about it?
I think the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are number 1 in that division just because of the last season they had.
Yeah, I
They were
mean,
top dogs.
yeah, I
But
couldn't touch them
if you
last
look
year.
at it, momentum, it seems like he's kind of losing it. I don't know if his defense, it's not on the same page, but it seems like his defense is getting dotted,
I'm looking for
and
him to start
his
reevaluating what he's doing on defense because a lot of people have started to scheme around him in a specific way. So I'm looking for him to come up with some other looks. So, I mean, as to what that may be, I could not tell you. But I just have a hunch that he's going to start digging into some playbook tricks here.
I don't know.
and another
Okay.
thing that's go ahead, Acid.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
I'll just finish off by saying another thing that's scary, and you saw glimpses of it last year, is his quarterback, his young quarterback, with the inconsistency with INTs, and it looks like it's carrying over to this season.
Yeah,
And that if your defense is not playing well, giving the ball on offense to the defense is never a good look, and it's never going to
trust
help
me.
you out.
I
So
know from experience that you're not going to win the game if they keep playing from year 40.
True. True. Yeah. I mean, I think we put the top couple teams in the picture right from the get go, like last year, I would say on the podcast, and we said we pointed out the Bills, Cardinals, and I want to say the Browns were like top 3 in defensive turnovers.
Yep.
That was their bread and butter. And I don't know if the Cardinals have lost a little bit of that magic. I mean, he's obviously still got the players.
Turnovers
Got the
is the
young quarterback.
hardest rate or stat to like be consistent on. I mean, you look in the NFL, there's always examples of a team having a brilliant year defensively and giving their offense just enough chances to put them over the edge, and then the next season, it's like, is this even the same team? I mean, we can look at the real-life Carolina Panthers as an awesome example.
Yeah, no, it's. I would have called out the Cardinals this week if it wasn't for the Packers, but when I look at it, I look at that division, and I'm not trying to call anybody out because I'm gonna have to play that whole division this year, so I'm gonna see firsthand. But I just don't see the true contender for that division. I mean, no offense, Gatto. I mean, you got all the
I'm not
paths
taking
right in
any
front of you.
offense, though. I have the tools and the plan laid out ahead of me. It's just, can I read the instructions? Like, I every
yeah,
week,
it seems
every week, I feel like I'm poised to make that just final step, and I just can't quite put the 4 quarters of football together. I just gotta, put the shit together. But I mean, it's early, but the NFC West division should be finalized by around like week 11. So we should have one of playoff teams set fairly early, just not their seeding. And then if you look towards the NFC South, Tra is kind of running away with that one.
See, when you look at the NFC South, it's tough because I know another thing that we didn't put on the podcast. I think it was Tampa. I know he's having some scheduling conflicts, and he
Yes,
might be
yeah.
stepping away for a little bit too. Good dude, really good defense. I don't think he ever really did find that offensive groove yet. But when you look at that division now, I mean, the Saints we haven't heard from in a while. I know that's been kind of an issue. The Atlanta guy is old Jet Life. If anybody was in here last year, they know who that is.
Yep.
He has to find out what his team really is, mixed up with. What he's
I was
got to work
hoping
with.
I was hoping for a little bit more from him, switching to a little bit better team.
Give it time. That division, it's still. Trot always kind of plays that I'm gonna be ahead of everybody, and then he kind of drops back just enough so that we got to talk about him and give him shit, and then he comes up again.
Yeah,
But
he's got to get himself geeked up.
exactly. I don't know if it's just we catch him on the wrong couple weeks, but every time we talk shit, and every time we hear something on the Slack app,
Anytime
if
the
it's from
Panthers
his
get
Panthers.
gassed up on Slack, you can expect them to come out and play. Like that.
Exactly. Well, he does get quieted sometimes, and
Yeah,
you'll
he
know
does,
how
but
well he's doing.
he's consistent though. He still talks shit no matter what. So
Exactly.
like,
No. Yeah.
I
And you
love
know
it
what?
though.
He's played with some of the big boys, though. I mean,
Oh yeah,
we
yeah,
all know
definitely.
The Cowboys are tough out, and he gave him a nice match in that what was it NFC Championship last year.
Yeah, he's
So
made steps towards the Super Bowl every year. Um, if he would have added a few more parts, he probably would have been my NFC contender to win the Super Bowl instead of the Cowboys this year.
yeah,
Yeah, and speaking of just those two, Carolina and the Cowboys, interesting matchup to see that if that happens in the playoffs again. Um, they had a little exchange of words afterwards, and Panthers calling out the Cowboys and saying that he wasn't a good user and it was totally his team.
Yeah.
So
that never
they had a
happens
little
in this
heated
league,
back
though,
and
does
forth.
it? Come on, nobody
What?
ever calls anybody out in this league, ever,
Nah, I've never
never.
seen it in my two
I've
seasons here.
never done it to anybody named the Bills or anybody else. So
Whoever that Bills
Um,
user was bad for him.
don't
right
feel
now,
bad for him.
I know my pick for the Super Bowl to start the season for the AFC was the Colts. I think Andrew Luck's just gonna have a terrific season. Um, but right now, after like their last two games, the London Bulldogs are playing some of the best defense in the league. I don't know if their offensive capabilities are quite up to par with their defense right now, but they're playing some of the best pound for pound football in the league right now. I mean, I know we addressed them earlier, but I would really love to see the Bulldogs and the Steelers go at it.
We all know the AFC is the cream of the crop. Until we get that. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't, because I mean, Cowboys do have the title. He is a top, but that AFC just. I'm sorry, I just don't see it happening again.
What I'm
I
excited
I
about, though, is both divisions with these new users. I feel like both divisions have at least picked up one or two contenders. I feel like these division races across the board are a little tighter than they were last year, this early on. But I think a lot of that has to do with last season. Our divisional games were really stacked and loaded towards the front of our schedules.
yeah, there really is no room for error in some of these divisions, especially in the AFC North. I mean, that's gonna be sick.
AFC North, you need at least 11 wins to like even think
11
about.
last year. You
I'm
needed
talking about
15.
I'm talking about to make the wild card at least out of it because
I could see two teams coming out of there. The way
because
things are going right now.
yeah, because that sixth seed in the AFC is like a last two seasons it's been like a 9-7 or an 8-8 team. So
But the one team I did want to make a kind of a case for is stepping up. Giants, man.
yeah,
Did I not say that draft was one of the best drafts, right alongside the Bills over here?
yeah,
I
you did.
mean,
Yeah, we called it the
that-
dark horse of the draft, and look at the players that are carrying him right now.
Look at that offense, Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he's got Sterling Shepard. He drafted another good receiver.
The tight end.
In our
Trailer?
second. Yeah, but in our first draft, he picked up another receiver. So he's got Sterling Shepard, someone else that's almost as good as Sterling Shepard. He's got Odell. He's got that top tight end. Didn't you say he also got a running back?
Yeah, Loston from Miami. He was one of the graded out first rounder running backs.
Okay.